Do you think that he knew she was going to kill her husband?
Once Kristen's boss heard about the discovery, he summoned her into his office and placed Kristen on administrative leave. A few days later, employees discovered that there were over 127 milligrams and 15 dermal patches of missing from their storage room. Once the police caught wind of this, they knew they had to switch Greg's cause of from potential to a investigation. Making matters worse for Kristen, someone had learned that she'd not only stolen but had been using it in the office during work hours. After that, Kristen was promptly fired, as was Dr. Robertson for failing to report his knowledge of this to their superiors. So her love affair knew she was stealing drugs and had not come forward and said anything. Even more damning, when Dr. Robertson's replacement came in and cleaned out his old desk, he found dozens of articles on the implications of and case studies on overdoses. So once police learned about the details of the affair, both became suspects in Greg's death. Only Dr. Robertson had fled back to Australia right after his termination, which meant for now, police had to focus their efforts on the one suspect they could do something about.
He totally was involved.
By June 2001, Kristen had found a new job working as an assistant chemist at a biotech company called TriLink. By this point, her addiction had gotten so bad that the sores had returned to her face. She was constantly picking at her skin and nails, she looked thin as a rail, and her eyes were constantly bloodshot. Yet, she managed to still show up for work and perform her duties. Although on the morning of June 25th, Kristen appeared worse than usual. She came in visibly upset, and when her coworker asked her what was wrong, Kristen said she'd heard the police had issued a warrant for her arrest. Kristen packed up the things on her desk and returned to her apartment a short while later. The 25-year-old Kristen got high one final time and waited for the fateful knock at her front door. By the afternoon, it came. Kristen opened the door calmly. She sat on the couch and listened without pushback as she was read her Miranda rights. Her face covered in tears, she was handcuffed and brought down to the Las Colinas Women's Detention Facility, where she was fingerprinted and photographed, and forced to patiently await her fate. On July 2nd, 2001, Kristen arrived at her arraignment hearing, pleading not guilty to the first-degree charges against her husband. For a crime such as this, a death sentence was on the table.
Wow.
However, the San Diego District Attorney chose not to pursue that option for Kristen. She was, however, facing the possibility of life in prison without parole, and her trial was set for the fall of 2002. But come January of that year, Kristen was released on a $1.25 million bail.
Holy crap.